A Step into the Past Volume 24 Chapter 1 Book 24 Chapter 01, The Victorious 100 Battle Sabre. When they reached Jade Orchid Brothel, Zhang Xunlong father and son are already respectfully awaiting and brimming with brotherly affections. Compared to their initial encounter, it was a world of difference. This time round, the banquet lounge and the setting is far better than before, as Zhang Xunlong had reserved the most luxurious courtyard Jade Orchid Brothel can offer. It naturally included the companionship of their 8 top courtesans, which Lan Gongyuan is obviously part of. Even Madame Orchid had been specially engaged to oversee their gathering. Noticing Xiang Xiaolong, who has resumed his original appearance, Lan Gongyuan personally welcomed him. Hooking his arm and leading him to his seat, she leaned towards his ear and whispered, "The last time round, I knew I had hit my mark. Why are you still alive and kicking?" Xiang Xiaolong secretly thought that it was brilliant of her to use a casual remark to resolve their enmity into a round of flirting between a man and a woman. He smiled. "Why is Miss Yuan acting on the orders of Tian Dan? Is it because of Qi Yu?" Lan Gongyuan plainly state, "As a citizen of Qi, Yuan must contribute my part to Great Qi. On a personal basis, I am full of admiration for Great General." Right now, Zhang Xunhua, who was seated at the second table, burst out laughing. "Tonight, Yuan is experiencing a change of heart and is only concerned with whispering sweet nothings to Great General. Do you think you deserve to be punished with a cup of wine?" After lightly pecking Xiang Xiaolong on the cheek, Lan Gongyuan's pretty eyes glanced sideways at Xie Ziwan, who is behaving intimately with another gorgeous courtesan. She laughed in reply like a blossoming flower. "The one who is experiencing a change of heart is somebody else. The person who should be punished is official Xie instead of me." Raising his wine cup and chuckling, Xie Ziwan suggested, Yes, I deserve to be punished, but Yuan cannot be spared too. However, she can sing instead of drink." Ha! Xiang Xiaolong was greatly amused. Once he stepped into a brothel, Xie Ziwan seems to be high despite not taking any intoxicants and is behaving like a completely different person. Nonetheless, witnessing that he is not aroused by even a super beauty like Lan Gongyuan, Xiang Xiaolong can deduce that he is just a play-acting, harmless visitor and would never be addicted to lust, alcohol or other vice activities. With reference to the 3 famous courtesans, he does not have an inkling of fantasy towards Lan Gongyuan. The reason is probably his constant deep fear of suffering at her cruel hands. After all, her entire gang of troop members and fellow conspirators has lost their lives in Xianyang because of him. It would be surprising if she does not bear any hatred towards him. While he was immensely tempted by Feng Fei, he can feel his attraction for her dwindling after discovering her numerous lies and attempted murder. On the other hand, the unique and aloof beauty Shi Sufang has piqued his interest and curiosity. Among the shrill laughter and cheers, everyone raised their cups and toasted one another. Zhang Xunlong was seated opposite Xiang Xiaolong and was surrounded by a bevy of beauties. After raising his cup and toasting Xiang Xiaolong, he wondered, why is second prince late? As expected, no one could answer him. Xie Ziwan recommended, "Why don't we send someone to rush him?" Zhang Xunhua immediately commanded a subordinate to handle this task. He then turned towards Xiang Xiaolong. "I heard from official Xie that Junior Marshal Sister Ro will be sparring with Great General tomorrow. If Great General does not mind, can Xunhua tag along and witness Great General's amazing skills?" Secretly annoyed at Xie Ziwan's big mouth, Xiang Xiaolong has no grounds to object and could only reply, "My skills are mediocre and not befitting Brother Xunhua's proficiency." Zhang Xunlong merrily guffawed, "Great General is too modest." In his mind, Xiang Xiaolong is aware that Zhang Xunhua has invited himself to personally assess his prowess and calculate the probability of him surviving his master's sword. If Xiang Xiaolong is proven incapable, they, Zhang Xun family, would have to make other plans, because if Xiang Xiaolong is slain, all their grand plans would evaporate into thin air. Leaning towards his ear again, Lan Gongyuan quizzed, "Has Great General met Grandmaster Cao before?" Xiang Xiaolong will not be truthful to her and shook his head. When he was about to say something, 3 men strode into their lounge in huge steps. One of them was astonishingly Lan Gonggai Yuan's lover Qi Yu. The other 2 men are about the same age and were dressed in a warrior uniform and a scholar robes accordingly. The warrior has a tall and burly frame that radiates with ferocity. With thick shoulders and neck, his face is pockmarked and his eyes are protruding. Coupled with a nose like a lion's, he can be classified as an ugly man. Despite all that, he exudes an intense masculine aura. The man dressed as a scholar is skinny and tall, with eyes that betray his intelligence. He somewhat resembles Tian Dan, allowing Xiang Xiaolong to easily conclude that he is Tian Dan's son Tian Bang, causing him a certain amount of shock. This does not seem like an appropriate place for him to show up. Zhang Xunlong and the others fell into a daze, not knowing how to react. The courtesans are already kneeling down and paying their respects. Tian Bang took the lead and cupped his hands together as a sign of respect. To Xiang Xiaolong, he grinned. After learning that Great General is here, Tian Bang specially came to have a look for myself. I hope Great General would not hold it against me for barging in. Xiang Xiaolong stood up and returned his greetings. As he shifted his gaze to Qi Yu, the fella's eyes flashed with a penetrating hatred. The corner of his mouth curling up to shape a cold smile, Qi Yu sniggered, seeing brother Xiang after so many years, I hope you are doing well. I heard Lady Zhao, you died in the foreign territory of Xianyang. This is truly lamentable. For some Chinese, it is considered inauspicious or bad to die in a foreign place. Example, overseas, on the roads or even hospital. Many prefer to die at home. Somewhat linked to their ego that they have a home to die in and not die in the wilderness. Therefore, family members usually arrange for their bodies to be sent home before burial or cremation. For Zhaoye, a Zhao royalty to die in Qin, can be interpreted that she is a jinx. Xiang Xiaolong is conscious that he intentionally brought up Lady Ye, reminding him the agony of having a loved one snatched away by another man. For a brief moment, his heart was pricking with pain. Xiang Xiaolong forcefully smiled and did not answer him. The warrior's attitude is even more conceited than the other 2. Cupping his fists, he bellowed, I am Ma Chenjia and I have always desired to witness a display of great general's swordsmanship. I wonder if I can have a taste of your brilliant skills before great general's duel with Grandmaster Cao. Zhang Xunlong father and son as well as Xie Ziwan were instantly agitated. For Ma Chenjia to openly challenge Xiang Xiaolong in this manner and demanding it to take place before Cao Quidao's appointment, not only did he fail to account for their presence, he is also hinting that Xiang Xiaolong would certainly perish at the hands of Cao Quidao. Nevertheless, given the present circumstances, it is difficult for them to intervene. Zhang Xunhua himself is not a noble gentleman too. He secretly swore that once Xiang Xiaolong rejected the challenge, he would stand up at once and issue his own challenge to Ma Chenjia, going all out to take his life. Zhang Xunlong, on the other hand, has made up his mind that even with Tian Dan sheltering Ma Chenjia, he would still get his henchmen to break both his legs. Within the courtyard, the tension in the air is electrifying. While living in the 21st century, Xiang Xiaolong is already a troublemaker in his own right and has the habit of getting himself into bar fights. Now that he has matured, his temper has mellowed and no longer finds any meaning in these pointless scuffles. That is why he refrains from fighting, and it is absolutely not because of fear. Now that Tian Bang, Qi Yu, and famed Qi swordsman Ma Chenjia are gate-crashing their party with a bullying attitude, Xiang Xiaolong can feel his blood boiling, but at the same time, he is doing his best to calm down. He simply smiled, since brother Ma is so keen, I can easily exchange some pointers with you. However, it is not a good time now, why don't? Qi Yu abruptly interrupted, if brother Xiang is expecting second prince, you can save your energy. Imperial uncle and official Han, Ji, just started a meeting with him. I doubt second prince can make the time to come over. Zhang Xunlong and everyone else were greatly traumatized. Isn't this a clear sign that Tianjian has decided to throw in his lot with Liu Bui and Tian Dan? Only Xiang Xiaolong is able to decipher the true picture, acknowledging that Tianjian is concerned that he would succumb to the sword of Cao Quidao, causing him to place his bet on the wrong man. Consequently, he is temporarily evaluating the situation further and hence, chose to avoid this meeting. Presently, Liu Bui and Han Ji must be using all their powers of eloquence to destabilize Tianjian's trust in his current allies. Ma Chenjie chortled, since this is the case, why don't Great General draw your sword now and let me have a taste of your prowess? Earlier, Xiang Xiaolong has accumulated plenty of frustration due to the betrayals of Han Chuang, Lord Longyang, etc. Now that he is faced with Tianjian's indecisiveness, resembling grass on a wall that bends in whichever direction the wind blows, coupled with this frog in a well Ma Chenjie who is purposely stirring trouble, he is ready to erupt. He forcefully discarded his coat, revealing his sturdy build that is unquestionably more muscular than Ma Chenjie, and snarled, since you are so persistent, let's do it. Among the crowd, no one anticipated his courageous demeanor and instant reaction to Ma Chenjie's provocation. They were stunned on the spot. Observing his newly exposed wide shoulders, broad chest, slender waist, and long legs forming an incredible physique, coupled with his awe-inspiring and indomitable bearing, all the ladies were intoxicated, and Lan Gongyuan is of no exception. Xiang Xiaolong is now gripping the handle of 100 battle saber as he took giant strides towards the center of the lounge, accumulating into a terrifying and dominating pressure. Tian Bang and Qi Yu were rattled and they clumsily retreated to the back, inadvertently enhancing Xiang Xiaolong's daunting posture as if it was an aggressive dragon coming out of its cave. Ma Chenjie did not expect him to make his move without the slightest indication. Stuck in the line of fire, he can sense the incoming threat Xiang Xiaolong posing. In this context, it is preposterous for Ma Chenjie to request Xiang Xiaolong to back off and give him a break. Coldly grunting once, he took a step back to avoid the advancing menace. With his rich battle experience, Xiang Xiaolong knows that he has gained the first mover advantage and obviously would not let Ma Chenjie regain his footing. Noting Ma Chenjie stepping backwards, he faced the sky and laughed loudly. Concurrently, with a jong sound, he pulled out 100 battle saber and continued pressing forward. The moment the saber left its scabbard, the entire hall became clogged with a chilling sensation, causing everyone present to be petrified. Only now did Ma Chenjie remember that his opponent is not using a sword but a weapon which he is unfamiliar with. In his heart, he became even more fearful and had to take another 2 steps back to give himself the opportunity to assess Xiang Xiaolong's attacking style. Xiang Xiaolong obviously would not miss this opening. Swiftly proceeding with steady footwork, he raised 100 battle saber above his head and simultaneously held the saber with his left hand as well. He ferociously roared, "Draw your sword!" In the same instance, Ma Chenjie felt as if he is being overwhelmed by a surge of attacking power and hastily drew his sword. Xiang Xiaolong darted towards his goal and by now, 100 battle saber has crossed its tipping point and is now a cold saber flash chopping down on the tangled and disconcerted Ma Chenjie like a bolt of lightning. If he is a smart man, Ma Chenjie should realize that the best way to resolve this predicament is to continue retreating or even retreat out of the room and re-engage the fight on the open grounds of the courtyard. Unfortunately, he happens to be the aggressor and was passing condescending remarks earlier. Under the gaze of the crowd, he could not retreat like a cowardly turtle as this is only the first move. Gnashing his teeth, he raised his sword horizontally to ward off the strike. Conscious that his opponent is defending in a state of panic and is only using one hand to hold his sword, Xiang Xiaolong was secretly delighted and chopped down with his full strength. Jong! Ma Chenjie's long sword has been severed by the saber. Amidst the sounds of screaming, Xiang Xiaolong has retreated and his saber has re-entered the scabbard. Ma Chenjie's expression is worse than that of a corpse. Still holding his broken sword, he stood in a daze at the same spot. A new blood scar is now running from his front hairline to between his eyebrows. As fresh blood began streaming down his face, it was a horrifying sight. Everyone knew that Xiang Xiaolong had shown mercy. However, it is even more shocking to witness his precision and mastery of the saber. Who could have guessed that one saber strike is all it takes to deliver a crushing defeat to one of Linzi's famed swordsmen Ma Qingjie? Even Cao Quidao himself may not necessarily be able to accomplish such a feat. Xiang Xiaolong secretly thanked his lucky stars. If he had been equipped with Blood Wave, it would have exhausted much more energy to resolve this issue. For a short spell, the whole lounge is completely silent. Ma Qingjie suddenly shouted incoherently and discarded his broken sword. Embarrassed beyond redemption, he wildly tore out of the room. Zhang Sunsuanhua stood up and raised his wine cup, sighing, "No wonder great general's fame has penetrated every corner of Xianyang. Even my master is stirred into issuing a challenge to you. Such superb saber skills are rare indeed." With horror written all over their faces, Tian Bang and Qi Yu were still staring at Xiang Xiaolong with disbelief. Speechless, they were awkwardly standing there, not knowing whether to stay or leave. Scanning the crowd, Xiang Xiaolong could tell that everyone is still reverberating in the earlier scene and that due to a nice coincidence, he had managed to showcase his prowess. Smiling broadly, he concluded, "Since second prince is not coming, why don't we return home and have a early night?" Barely stepping over the door ledge, Xiang Xiaolong was summoned by Feng Fei. At the upper loft sitting room of the main block, the stunning beauty was facing her zither and staring into space. Noticing his return, she then broke out of her stupor and pulled him to a corner before sitting down together. Feng Fei wondered in a slow and sad tone, "Han Ji came looking for me and sweet-talked me for a long time. However, my heart is already dead and I wasn't moved at all. This is so strange. In the past, whenever I think of him, there would be this sweet fondness in my heart. Now, I only regard him as an empty shell with a handsome outlook. Why is there such a huge disparity in my attitude?" Xiang Xiaolong was secretly alarmed and is concerned that Feng Fei may have shifted her affections towards himself. He tested, "Mistress, what are your plans for the future?" Her eyes shimmering with a pitiful glow, Feng Fei's tone was remarkably calm. She gently professed, "For the time being, I only wish to live a peaceful and tranquil life. Can Great General please see to this arrangement?" Xiang Xiaolong felt as if a big burden has been lifted off his shoulders and heaved with relief. "After I settle Cao Quidao, I would immediately escort you back to Xianyang. With my protection over there, there is nothing you need to fear." Feng Fei was taken aback. "I know you are an accomplished swordsman, but in the eyes of Qi, Cao Quidao is no longer considered human and is worshipped like a deity. Why are you still as confident as ever? Cao Quidao's sword is famed for being merciless. If anything were to happen to you, how do you expect me? How? Feng Fei does not wish to live too." Xiang Xiaolong did not misinterpret her meaning, acknowledging that she does not wish to live because she would be helpless after losing him, her pillar of support, and is thus having suicidal thoughts. Of course Xiang Xiaolong would not disclose to any Tom, Dick, or Harry about his 10 strokes proposal. He simply smiled. Cao Quidao is merely an ordinary man whose sword skills happen to be better than his challengers. I am not trying to prove anything to anyone too. If I do not have confidence in preserving my life, I would have fled with you tonight." Half believing him, Feng Fei doubted, "You mustn't be overconfident. Although the people of Qi often exaggerate their words, it is still an undeniable fact that Cao Quidao's swordsmanship has dominated the 6 eastern and southern states." Her gaze trailing to his 100 battle saber, Feng Fei lightly revealed, "Han Ji is afraid that I would shift my affections to you and heavily criticized you, causing me to despise him even more." Xiang Xiaolong had anticipated this behavior from Han Ji and is unaffected by this revelation. He chuckled, "Who can be loved by every person in the world? Let them jeer or criticize as much as they like. Yi. Mistress seems to be very interested in my saber." Reacting to his teasing, Feng Fei broke out into a smile, lifting her face and kissing him on the cheek. She whined, the people interested in your baby are Cao Quidao and the other swordsmen of Qi. I am only interested in you as an individual. What is the fun in fighting and killing? Nevertheless, you men are the ones who indulged incessantly in it and even got us, the vulnerable women, involved. Before Han Ji left, he mentioned that you might not even survive to see Cao Quidao, but Feng Fei is not intimidated by him. Xiang Xiaolong grinned, do you know who is Ma Qinjia? With a voice full of disdain, Feng Fei remarked, not only do I know who he is, I have even met him in person at Tiandan's chancellor residence. In terms of swordsmanship, with the exception of Zhang Sun Suanhua and Dan Chu, he and Min Tingzhong are considered the best. She then frowned, why did you bring him up? This man is extremely annoying and his attitude is overbearing, giving me the impression that he behaves with disrespect. Additionally, he imagined himself to be very popular with ladies, but personally, I feel disgusted whenever I see him. Xiang Xiaolong laughed, I did not know that your love or hatred for men can be so extreme. However, I am sorry to say that you would be unable to see this person in the near future. Earlier, he approached me for a duel and using one strike, I left an ineradicable mark on his face. Feng Fei was thunderstruck, just one strike. Xiang Xiaolong plainly state, little brother has exaggerated a little. I did take a few steps too. Collapsing into his bosom, Feng Fei shrilly laughed, I cannot stand your self-gratified and irritating demeanor. But you simply chose not to fall for me. Xiang Xiaolong honestly declared, I did fall for you. Who can resist falling in love with you? It is just that the burden of love is too much for me to bear. I already have 3 virtuous wives waiting for me at home and dare not get involved in new relationships. Feng Fei replied in an unhurried and melancholic fashion, I already knew and understood where you are coming from. I am sure the passing of Lady Ya and Princess Qian dealt you a severe blow, right? Xiang Xiaolong was astounded, how did you know about it? Feng Fei answered, of course somebody told me about it. In his vast mind, the lovely silhouette of Lady Qingziu began to materialize. Was she the one who told Feng Fei his past? If this is so, this beauty's heart is definitely in contrast to her external cold countenance whenever she faces Xiang Xiaolong. Stretching out her lovely hand and stroking his cheek, Feng Fei affectionately suggested, Great General must be tired. Why don't you spend the night in Feng Fei's room? Xiang Xiaolong was about to reply her when footsteps sounded on the stairs, startling the two of them, who quickly separated from each other. Little Ping'er voice resounded from the stairs, Lord Longyang is here to look for Great General. Recollecting his appointment with Lord Longyang, Xiang Xiaolong icily sniggered to himself, wondering what excuse this old friend would cook up in order to terminate tonight's escape plan. After Feng Fei uttered a reply on his behalf, she faintly pleaded, no matter how late you return tonight, please remember to drop by my place. Feng Fei is not asking for any status or responsibility but only wishes for a night of passion.